All right, for this part of unit conversions, we are going to focus on the metric, which, there's a lot of people that question why we don't switch to the metric. It's a lot easier in converting. And yeah. All right, so we're going to look at this, and you'll notice that conversions between the metric system and the standard US system that we use are very, very different. So one of these videos is going to be very, very short this week. The other is going to be long, and they'll kind of average each other out. So I apologize about that. All right, let's do this. All right, so if we look at this, all right, we see down at the bottom, all right, this is your prefix. So you have the base. Now the base can either be meter for length, grams for weight or mass, and liters for liquid measure. So these are the three bases that you're working with. So when you see this word base here, that's what they're talking about. So like if you just have meters, if you just have liters, or if you just have grams, you're smack dab in the middle of this. Okay, there's nothing in front of it. On the right side, you have deci, centi, milli. And on the left, you have deca, hecto, and kilo. Now, even though it's written like this because it's really helpful for how you move the decimal, deca, hecto, and kilo, you're going to move the decimal to the left. Deci, centi, and milli, you're going to move it to the right. But if you look, deci, centi, and milli are your fractional pieces. So that's your 1/10th, 100th, 1,000th. Whereas deca, hecto, and kilo are actually the bigger of the units. But you have to remember, so this is that graphic is helping you figure out which way you go. So like, again, this is just one of those things where like, do you read left to right? All right. So the way I do this, and you'll see on my key, I have the same thing written for each one. I have K, H, D, B, D, C, M. And I'm just going to take a minute and I'm going to write that under each one of these. Okay, so now I'm back. So now that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the decimal in each one of these. So remember, if you don't see a decimal, it's at the end, like 5 dot, 3 dot, 7 dot, 60 dot, 2.5 there, I'm just making it darker, 4.5 there, and I'm making it darker, 77, it's at the end, and 37, it's also at the end. Okay. So why I do this? Well, because if I look at number 1, I am going from meters to kilometers, okay? Which, if you look, I'm starting at my base, and I'm going to my kilometers, all right? So if I even want to do this in a different color, I'll do blue to where I start, and K for where I end. Okay, so you could do this in 2 steps. You could go through grams, I'm starting at my base. Meters, I'm starting at my base. Milligrams, I'm starting all the way over to the right. Meters, again, I'm starting at my base. Centimeters, I'm starting at the C. And meters, again, I'm starting at my base. Deci, I'm starting at this D. So the D's you just have to keep straight. The way I kind of remember it, it's deca and deci. And if you write it like this, it's alphabetical order. So deca comes before deci. Okay. Now again, if I'm going to where I'm going, where I'm ending, this is where I'm ending. All right, and I'm going to go back and just highlight because again, I started where I was blue and I finished where I was red. All right, so if I go along that same logic, okay, grams to milli, so I'm going to go over here. Here I'm going to centi. Here I'm going all the way to kilo. Here I'm going to milli. Here I'm going to kilo. Here I'm going to, now here's the interesting thing, and I actually had to look this up to refresh my memory before. DM is deci. DAM is deca. Now, obviously, this is decimeters. The M stands for the meters. So if you were talking liters, it would be DL and DAL. And if you were talking grams, it would be DG and DAG. Okay. Okay. So then here I'm going to deci, which is, oops, this one. And this one I'm going from deci to milli. So I'm going from here. So now I kind of know my moves, and I have a very visual representation of this. So what this all means is that for the first one, I have 5 and then I have my decimal. Going from meters to kilometers, I am moving 1, 2, 3 to the left. So I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to move it 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now that means I have a spot for 1, 2 zeros as my placeholders, and then I have that 5. So 0.005 is how many kilometers I have. Okay, for the 3 grams, I'm going 1, 2, 3 to the right because I'm going to milligrams. So I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 to the right. Now for here, I have 3 places for a placeholder. And then I have that decimal. I don't need to put that there. Like I really shouldn't put 3,000 dot. I should just leave it as 3,000. For the next one, I'm going 1, 2 to the right. So 1, 2. So that gives me 700. So 7 meters is equal to 700 centimeters. Okay. And we know that centi, centimeter, century, it means 100, right? So it would make sense that if I have 7 meters, I have 700 centimeters. All right, for this one, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. How many holes do I have that I need to put placeholders in? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 0. You can drop that last 0 because it happens after the numbers, which in decimal land, all right, you can get rid of. All right, for this one, I'm going 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3 to the right. So I have 2,500. This I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. So point 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Here I'm just going 1 to the right. So it's 770. And then here I'm going 2 to the right, which gives me 3,700. So with metric conversions, you keep the number and it's just a matter of moving the decimals, how many places and which way.